Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, January 27th, 2016. My name is Cliff Backus, and this is your PushButtonStockTrading.com daily video market review. Much of what we do at PushButton Stock Trading is based in part or in full on William O'Neill's classic book, How to Make Money in Stocks. O'Neill utilizes the acronym CAN-SLIM to identify the important elements of what he's looking for in a trade. The C in CAN-SLIM stands for current quarterly earnings and sales, and reminds us that we should be looking for stocks that have a minimum of 25% year-over-year increases in quarterly earnings and sales, and preferably accelerating earnings and or sales. The L in CAN-SLIM stands for leader or laggard. It's important that we identify where the leadership in the market is. To that end, we use High Growth Stock Investor's Spectrum Analyzer to identify the market leadership on a daily basis. But before we do that, the M in the CAN-SLIM acronym stands for market, and to my way of thinking is the most important element. So let's take a brief look at the market. Markets closed sharply higher yesterday, continuing their seesaw action of the past few trading days. However, yesterday was a bit different. Yesterday was day 5 of the attempted rally by both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Yesterday, the S&P closed 1.4% higher on heavier trading volume than the prior day. According to William O'Neill in How to Make Money in Stocks, that's the definition of a follow-through day. Day 4 or later of the attempted rally, at least 1.25% gain in a major index on heavier trading volume than the prior trading session. That being the case, we're back in a confirmed uptrend in the market, and as such, followers of William O'Neill can cautiously begin putting money back to work on the long side. That noted, according to our market timing model, we remain on a primary sell signal with a secondary aggressive buy signal. An aggressive buy signal indicates that aggressive traders can buy stocks but should not be employing margin at this point. More conservative traders should continue to accumulate cash. Advancing issues outpaced decliners by nearly 9-2 yesterday. The New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line continues to look considerably more bearish than bullish. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. New lows bettered new highs, but by a much more reasonable margin yesterday. Our overbought oversold indicator has returned to a neutral condition in the market. Yesterday, the McClellan oscillator turned positive as well, indicating a buy signal on the market. Also, I failed to note it, but although new lows are bettering new highs right now, our new high, new low indicator went to a buy signal 3 days ago. The new high, new low indicator measures the rate of change in new highs versus new lows on the New York Stock Exchange. In another encouraging note for the bulls, small capitalization stocks bettered large yesterday, although large caps continue to outperform on a 10-day moving average basis. Small caps typically outperform in bull markets. Okay, let's take a look at our Spectrum Analyzer. Yesterday, of the top 100 most powerful stocks in the most powerful industry groups, Real Estate Investment Trust made up 22. Semiconductor devices had 10 in the top 100. Apparel, footwear, accessories, and design had 7 stocks in the top 100. Specialty apparel, 6. And rounding out the top 5, entertainment, content, and restaurants both had 5 stocks in the top 100 most powerful stocks in the most powerful industry groups. As we've been noting recently, we've seen a lot of real estate investment trust recently. This may be a good place to look for leadership in the new confirmed uptrend. Semiconductor devices have also been strong recently, and restaurants have been strong as well. All of these might be good places to look for leadership in this market. I want to start today by taking a look at the advanced decline line. What we're looking at here is the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line. Note how, from left to right on this chart, the advanced decline line is trending lower. That's a bearish sign. Also, of late, we put in this high followed by this low. We put in a lower high and a lower low. This is bearish action out of the advanced decline line. And so although we've gone to a confirmed uptrend in the market, the advanced decline line is telling us to remain a little bit cautious. Let's start today with the Russell 2000. Yesterday, the Russell 2000 had an inside day. An inside day is a trading session where the high of the day is lower than the high of the prior day, and the low of the day is higher than the low of the prior day. An inside day doesn't tell us much about the market. However, I think the key to the market going forward is the Russell 2000, and to that end, we have significant resistance down here in the 1040 area. In order to get a little bit more bullish on the market, we need to see the Russell 2000 take out that 1040 area. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ composite. NASDAQ had a good day yesterday. We were up 49.18 points, or 1.09%. We closed at 45.67, and note how we came down. We tested support at the low of the day right here in the 45.06 area. We held that area and went on to close higher, closing near the high of the day. Trading volume was a little bit heavier than the prior day. And for you followers of William O'Neill, we are in a confirmed uptrend in the market. We've been in a confirmed uptrend in the market since the close of the market yesterday on January 26th. Right now, the NASDAQ is bracketed by support down here in the 45.06 area and probably resistance at this trend line. This trend line goes all the way back to the beginning of the bull market back in 2009 and should offer a bit of resistance. Were we to break through that area, we would then have this area up here in the 4900 range as the next significant area of resistance. Yesterday, the O'Neill market timing model went to a confirmed uptrend in the market. Our timing model, however, remains on a primary sell signal with an aggressive buy signal. What that indicates is that aggressive traders can buy stocks but shouldn't be employing margin at this point. More conservative traders should continue to accumulate cash. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. Yesterday, the S&P was up 26.55 points, or 1.41%. We closed at 1903, and trading volume yesterday was higher than the prior day. William O'Neill's definition of a follow-through day is a trading session at least 4 days into an attempted rally. This is day 1 of the attempted rally. Day 2, day 3, day 4. Yesterday was day 5. So we had day 5 of the attempted rally. We were up at least 1.25% on heavier trading volume than the prior day. That is our definition of a follow-through day. And so for you followers of William O'Neill, the S&P 500 confirmed the uptrend in the market yesterday. And so we can begin selectively putting money back to work in this market. Right now, the S&P 500 is bracketed by support down here in the 1867 range. We have resistance at this trend line. Were we to break through that area of resistance, our next area of resistance would be up here in the 1993 range. While the market is in a confirmed uptrend, our market timing model remains on a sell signal on the market. Our primary signal is a sell signal on the market. But we have an aggressive buy signal. This is a tricky market. We're getting significant mixed signals. You want to be careful as you begin to redeploy money on the long side. With the follow-through day yesterday, I think it's important that we take a look at some stocks that could be setting up to be bought at this point. According to O'Neill, on a follow-through day, we want to take at least one position. And so these are some ideas that may be worth taking a look at. First stock I want to look at is MaxLinear. MaxLinear provides RF, analog, and mixed signal integrated circuits used in communication and video displays over broadband networks. Stock's been setting up this third stage base. Third stage base is a pretty late stage base, and generally we're not going to talk about a third stage base. But in this particular case, MaxLinear gets an 80% checklist rating. An 80% checklist rating after the market that we've had over the past 6 months is a remarkably high number. And so MaxLinear is certainly worth keeping an eye on. We have a pivot point up here in the 1775 area, but we have this trend line. And MaxLinear can be bought by aggressive traders on a break above that trend line, especially if it was to break above that trend line on heavy trading volume. Next, let's take a look at TAL Education Group. TAL is a Chinese provider of K-12 after-school tutoring services to 1.5 million students via 289 learning centers in 19 cities. The stock is currently in this fifth stage base, very, very late stage base. Be careful with this one. Has a pivot point of 48.84 and a checklist rating of 80. Let's take off these markups. Now I want to draw in this trend line. I think that TAL can be bought on a break above that trend line, especially if it's accompanied by heavy trading volume. But this is a very late stage base. A fifth stage base is a very late stage base. If you buy TAL, keep your stops tight. Next we have Keywho 360 Technology. Keywho is a Chinese provider of internet security software, browsers, search, and online games developed by third parties. I'm going to take a little bit longer look at this stock. So I'll go out to a year chart. And I want to point out that Keywho has put in this long-term cup with handle base. Notice how the volume dried up here as this handle began to form. That's exactly the type of behavior that we want to see out of a cup and handle. In addition, as the stock worked on the right side of this base, you see that volume picked up into the right side. Keywho is currently putting in a first stage base. We have a buy point on Keywho, a pivot point of $73.33. Keywho also gets an 80% checklist rating. Very high checklist rating for a first stage base. This one's really worth taking a look at. And the final stock that I want to take a look at, Store Capital, is a real estate investment trust that owns 947 single-tenant commercial real estate properties in 46 states, operated under long-term net leases. Real Estate Investment Trust has consistently come up on our Spectrum Analyzer recently, and so I really like this stock because of the strength of the industry group that it's in. We're looking at a one-year chart on Store Capital, and note how Store has traced out this very nice cup with handle base with a pivot point in the 2354 area. We've broken above that pivot point, which means that we can buy Store Capital here. It may be a good place to put a little bit of money, as this is a fairly conservative stock. Store Capital gets a 72% checklist rating, and may be worth a look here. Just a quick note about Store. We broke out 3 days ago from this handle. Notice how the volume was a little bit weak on that breakout. We would have preferred to have seen a little bit heavier volume. That noted, Store Capital is a pretty good looking stock at this point. That's about all I have for today. If you want to talk about any of the stocks mentioned today or any of our market strategies, please feel free to give me a call. Drop me an email or make an appointment. Come by the office, see what we're up to. Contact information is on the home page. Please take a minute to go to our subscription page and subscribe to Push Button Stock Trading. You can also follow us on Twitter at push button stock. Again, my name is Cliff Backus. That's your daily video market review. Have a safe and profitable day. Keep your stops in place, and I will see you again tomorrow. Please stay tuned for our important disclaimers. All the best. Disclaimers. Push Button Stock Trading Video Market Review is produced and edited by Clifford B. Backus. Mr. Backus is a Senior Vice President of Investments, Technical Analyst, Portfolio Manager, and Partner with the investment firm of Ohanneson Liqueurs Incorporated. Video Market Review is produced solely for the benefit of our clients, friends, and colleagues. Anything written, stolen, and/or plagiarized in this publication is done without malice. Further, the analysis and opinions expressed in this publication are strictly those of the editor and not of Ohanneson Liqueurs Incorporated, its affiliates, subsidiaries, or any of the officers or employees of Ohanneson Liqueurs, Inc. On that note, we submit the following. The analysis, calculations, and evaluations presented herein are based on data and assumptions Ohanneson Liqueurs Incorporated believes to be accurate. Ohanneson Liqueurs Incorporated makes no representation that such analysis or calculations are accurate or that such valuations represent levels at which actual trades may occur. This report has been prepared from original sources, except where otherwise noted, and data we believe to be reliable. Ohanneson Liqueurs, Inc., its affiliates and subsidiaries, and/or their officers and employees or their families may from time to time acquire, hold, or sell a position in the securities mentioned herein. Moreover, opinions may differ from one entity to the next. If we are used in connection with the purchase or sale of any security discussed in this report, we may act as principal for our own account or as agent for both the buyer and the seller. Push Button Stock Trading is dedicated to the education of friends, clients, and paid subscribers. Push Button Stock Trading is an information service only. The information provided herein is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell stocks of any kind. Push Button Stock Trading is created to aid subscribers in making informed investment decisions based wholly or in part on technical analysis. It's possible that at this time or some subsequent date, the editors of Push Button Stock Trading may own, buy, or sell the investments presented. All investors should consult a qualified professional before making any investment. The information provided has been obtained from sources deemed to be reliable, but it is not guaranteed as to the accuracy or completeness. The editors of Push Button Stock Trading make every effort to provide timely information to subscribers, but cannot guarantee specific delivery times due to factors beyond our control.